2020 election.
CBS News investigative reporter Graham Cates joins us now for more on this. Graham, great to have you with us here on set. So was this a surprise to Giuliani and his lawyers, the fact that he's now a central figure in this investigation?
I don't know if surprise is the right word. There have actually been more than a double targets identified by the grand jury, including some 16 people who were at what we call the fake electors. These are Georgia Republicans who essentially posed as electors in the aftermath of the 2020 election. But as recently as a week ago in a court hearing, one of Giuliani's attorneys was saying, we were asking prosecutors, is he a target or is he a material witness, which is the phrase that they had referred to him as. And they were saying they couldn't get answers. Today, one of those prosecutors called one of Giuliani's lawyers and said, just so you know, 2 days before your testimony, your client is, in fact, a target of the investigation.
Why would a prosecutor do that? Is that just a courtesy, a hey, heads up, or something more?
Yeah, it's basically basic practice. You're not expected to go before a grand jury thinking that you're going there as a witness, but in fact, you're one of the people being targeted. And they said as much in court last week that they are going to change their advice for him based on that knowledge. They said we need to know this information so that we know how to coach him before he goes into the grand jury.
And what further information are Giuliani's lawyers or his legal team giving about what kind of defense they're going to lay out, or what are they saying about Giuliani's role in all of this?
So far, they're saying basically he hasn't done anything wrong. We think this goes across the board, not just Giuliani's attorneys, but attorneys for other people subpoenaed. They think the whole investigation here in Fulton County is targeting the wrong people, is out of political animus, and that basically they're being victimized by having to come there. In fact, they didn't want him to appear before the grand jury at all. They said he has a health problem, and you're making him travel from New York to Atlanta all the way for something that is inappropriate. But the judge overseeing the grand jury has said, this is founded on solid ground. A lot of people have heard the famous phone call between Donald Trump and Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, in which he asked for all those votes, and that's something that the prosecutor has to look into.
Right.
Yeah. So, given that Giuliani has claimed this medical condition to delay testifying, could we see another delay and he not testify in 2 days' time?
No, his lawyer Bob Costello told me it's definitely happening. There's no getting around it at this point. He will be there on Wednesday. He's going to testify. Now, it's a little different for, as you talked about, Lindsey Graham. He has the ability to kind of push this because he's a currently elected official. But Rudy Giuliani is just a regular citizen like you or me. So if the grand jury says you have to appear, you have to appear.
There's a famous quote in New York City that you could indict a ham sandwich in front of a grand jury. I'm butchering the quote, not the sandwich. Is that true in Georgia? Is the rules the same? How does it work?
So this is a special grand jury, and so that is famously the case, right? Prosecutors are able to get grand juries to indict. With a special grand jury, though, they don't actually hand down an indictment. They're going to, at the end of this, produce presumably a lengthy report and recommend charges or not recommend charges and give it to District Attorney Fani Willis. And then she has to make her decision based on that.
All right.
Got it. Good info.
Graham Cates, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. And we're going to take you now to the State Department, where Press Secretary Ned Price is discussing the 1 year since the Taliban took control of Afghanistan. Let's listen in.
The strike against al-Qaeda leader Ayman al-Zawahiri, to stand by our Afghan allies and their families by resettling tens of thousands of them here in the United States, demonstrating the very best of the American people's generosity, and will continue to welcome our Afghan allies over the weeks and months ahead. We'll also keep supporting the Afghan people during the